Autism is a disability affecting a child's development and social behaviour. It's a life condition caused by a disorder of the brain. In Ireland, there are an estimated 5,000 autistic children of school-going age.
Your role in life has suddenly changed. You go from being a highly expecting parent to being a special needs parent. There are huge moments of celebration along that road.
It's good to take a step into their world, and they in turn will take a step into yours.
Autism currently has no cure and no single confirmed cause. The disability usually shows itself in the first 3 years of life with widely varying symptoms. Autism can affect the senses, speech and language skills. Socializing may be difficult. Early diagnosis and therapy help autistic children live productive lives. This is the story of two families living with the challenges of autism. The Domicans of County Wicklow are a family living successfully with autism. Dublin-born Bill and his Australian wife Lisa are the proud parents of Grace, aged 11, and Liam, who is 13. After a period living in Australia, they returned home to Ireland.
Gracie, do you want toast? Come on, hurry up. Good girl. We enjoyed, I guess, a kind of a yuppie lifestyle. We were married for 10 years before we had any children, so we had the best of life, really. Those were very good years.
Liam was our firstborn, and as far as we were concerned, he was perfect. And he was very beautiful. I know every mum says that, but people used to stop me in the supermarket and say, "Oh, he's so lovely, what a beautiful boy."
Autism can manifest itself early in speech difficulties.
Liam wasn't talking at all. But if he wanted something, he'd take you by the hand and he'd lead you places. But he wouldn't even look at you or even try to say a word. And he certainly didn't say mummy or daddy or anything like that. He wasn't toileting well, and that's another big, big flag. But it never ever occurred to me that it was anything to do... Okay, no, bring it back. Good boy. Anything to do with autism. Bill was the one who noticed, and that's because we have a nephew in the UK, and he was quite severely autistic, but it was really Bill who had to say to me, "Look, you know, we have to get him looked at." We did go to the public health nurse. The public health nurse said, yes, you need to get a referral.
Diagnosing autism can include simple observation, noticing a child's difficulties with problem solving, playing with others, or hearing difficulties.
Welcome to South America.
Okay, you got your shoes on?
The process of diagnosis can be quite extended, but generally speaking, people would be given a diagnosis in around the 3 and 4 year mark, thereabouts.
Liam Domican's autism was confirmed when he was almost 4.
Up until that point, you have lots of normal expectations, as any parent would be for a child, whether he's going to be a great footballer or a rugby player or whatever it is that you might aspire for him or her, and then all of a sudden that is taken away, and your role in life has suddenly changed.
Liam.
Personally, I wouldn't say I was well equipped to deal with it. I had been too selfish for too long, and then to be catapulted into that sort of role as a special needs parent was like a huge, huge reality check for me.
"23-year-old Sean Foley lives in Kerry. He and his father Kevin spent much of their life in the UK. They moved home 8 years ago.
All the Foleys up to my grandfather, you know, were born up this hill. And my other grandfather, you know, was just born down the road, same situation really. So I've got very strong family ties in the area.
Kevin Foley is a teacher. He gave up full-time work to mind Sean. But now that Sean is more independent, Kevin does some part-time work back in Nottingham.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right, boy.
Yeah, good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
My dad's a Kerryman, left here in 1940 to go to Manchester for work, and Sean's got loads of cousins. You know, the first time he actually got to play out and play kick the can was here in Kerry. I hadn't been able to let him out the door, you know, over in England, really.
Sean Foley has a type of autism known as Asperger's. A person with Asperger's may have the ability to speak, but not necessarily a sense of word meaning or nuance.
Asperger's syndrome is different from classic autism, you know, because of the speech element. But having speech is not the same as knowing when to use it and what volume to use it. A point my dad frequently reminds me of when I walk up next to him and shout, you know, like I'm at the other end of the garden. Asperger's itself can encompass problems with social skills and that, socialising, you know, with people, relating to others as such, you know, yeah.
It seldom travels alone, autism, either. It usually has something along with it. So he has coordination problems. And there's another thing called dyscalculia, which is the sums equivalent of dyslexia.
Asperger's can be difficult to diagnose. As a child, Sean went through many tests.
The first assessment I went for was when I was age 3. There was no diagnosis then, and then there was another assessment age 6 because of problems I was having in primary school.
Now, Sean gives talks about autism and Asperger's. It helps build social skills.
Sean has had difficulty in understanding what is expected of him, settling into an already established daily routine. Sean demands, expects instantaneous, undivided attention. At the time, I was in an autistic bubble to myself, really. I wasn't aware I was acting any different to any other children. I'd wander around the playground by myself, really, you know. I got diagnosed at the age of 12. Come on, sit.
After Sean's diagnosis, his problems continued.
I left primary school and went to secondary school. I only became more aware of my problems there, really, you know, when the pressure started to mount on me in terms of homework and that, you know, in terms of dealing with people in the corridors and everything like that, you know.
11-year-old Grace Domican was born in Australia. When she was 2, Grace's parents Bill and Lisa planned a move home to Ireland. Bill led the way.
We wanted to have more family around us, and we thought that, you know, coming back to Ireland, it would help.
The idea was I'd come back to Ireland, find work, find a place to live within, you know, a 3-month time span, and then Lisa would follow out then afterwards.
Baby Grace and her brother waited in Australia with their mum and grandparents. But 2-year-old Grace was increasingly withdrawn. Her grandmother was concerned.
Mum just did this almost like an intervention, you know. When are you going to do something about Gracie? She won't look at us. And it hadn't occurred to me that she wasn't making eye contact because she always made eye contact with me.
Lisa told me over the phone that she had been to see a doctor in Victoria, and the diagnosis was similar.
She just burrows in here.
Some forms of the disability are thought to be genetic. Like brother Liam, Grace was also diagnosed with autism.
Not only was I going to have to deal with one child with special needs, that I had 2 children with special needs. It was huge. Mm.
Before coming to Ireland, Sean Foley struggled at school. Difficulties increased as he reached his teens.
Somebody like Sean, when they hit secondary school, would be going from lesson to lesson and finding PE difficult because of the coordination, finding maths difficult, geography, and basically getting a message of failure all the time. Soon after he got his diagnosis, the educational psychologist was flagging up the possibility